Welcome again to Mekenkiéh, my channel about the Kundalini energy, breathing, and Tantra. Today we're going to talk about fasting. Why is fasting so important for so many spiritual practices around the world? Well, we will talk a crucial data about it. So, let's begin. First of all, fasting helps us differentiate where our body gets its energy, the source of our energy. Usually we have the program, we have the chip inside of us, the mental program, that we need food in order to exist, in order to behave normally every day without a problem, without feeling uncomfortable, right? So for that we need to have breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and if we don't do that, we will feel terrible. But the truth is that we don't get the most important vital energy from food. It's from breathing. So when we let ourselves recharge consciously from breathing and not just from food, things happen. But the thing is that we need to reprogram. That social program we learn is just not letting us connect to our essentials. And the essential way we produce energy is through breathing. But the idea is not just to let the breathing go in its own rhythm, the way it naturally nurtures our being without thinking about it. No, the idea is to practice breath work, conscious breathing in a way that it will produce more energy than the energy our body needs in that moment. And there's when you start really accumulating. So for us to really reprogram ourselves and understand, feel tangibly how it feels to get energy from breathing and not from food, from digestion, we must stop eating and give our body the space to really observe himself and see how it happens. How we get the energy from the breathing and how it feels. And you'll notice when you do the exercise that if you fast and do the correct exercise of breathing, you will feel incredibly. The exercise of fasting will be just awesome. It will elevate your energy to another level. But if you don't do that, if you just let your breathing go in its own, the same way it does always, well, you will suffer. You'll feel uncomfortable because you're in a state where you're not getting the energy from your breathing and you're not getting the energy from your food. So it will be very, very uncomfortable. And the idea is not that. However, we can reprogram ourselves through fasting, because when we control the food we eat, we can control anything. If we want to control ourselves in different levels, we must begin understanding and controlling the food we eat. And in this case, it's for us to really understand how we get the source of our energy. What sources of energy do we have? Well, obviously the first one is the breathing, because if we stop breathing, we will die in minutes. Then we have food, also going to sleeping the correct amount of hours every day. That gives us the correct amount of energy we need. If we don't do that, if we don't sleep well, things will get messy. The other way is through the elements. Yeah, through sunlight, through air, but not just breathing into air through our skin, because our skin is actually feeling. The other way is through human contact. When we have contact with someone else, we can raise our energy or really drain our energy. For example, if we hug someone or kiss someone, and this contact it happens out of love, pure unconditional love, well, that will definitely elevate our energy. But if we fight with someone and we just explode in rage, obviously we will drain. We will waste all that energy. And at the end, we will be with less than at the beginning. The climax of all this is sexual intercourse. Obviously, we can get a lot of energy, vital energy and other subtle energies through sexual intercourse. But done correctly, when the exercises focus in a certain way, that it let us elevate our energy, because if not, it will waste it. The truth is, the majority of people around the world practice sexual intercourse and they drain themselves because we're not practicing it correctly. It needs to be certain conditions for us to really elevate from sexual intercourse. The other way we can recharge ourselves is through movement, but the same here. If we do it incorrectly, we will discharge. But if we do it correctly with the help of breathing, we will catapult ourselves to the other level. We will just recharge ourselves and feel awesome. This is when you, for example, when you dance and you move, you'll obviously move a lot of energy and you will feel it. But if you don't breathe while you do that, think about it. It doesn't feel good. You will faint at the end. You'll be exhausted. And that's not the idea. The idea is to get our body to its maximum capacities without taking it to the point of exhaustion. So the last way we can get energy from is through meditation. Meditation gives us a lot of subtle energies. Obviously, it's not fundamental for life. We're not getting vital energy from meditating, but we get another level of energies that are there for us, meant for us to harvest. And also it's a very important way. Through fasting, we can really access all these dimensions of ourselves and understand how they work. How is the taste of that energy? For example, the energy of meditating, it is very, very similar somehow to what we feel with the energy we get when we sleep correctly. And the energy of breathing, it's also similar of the energy we get when we eat. Fasting helps us differentiate our mechanisms, how they work, where they get their energy, and actually how our body works. So it's very important, this point. Second point is also very important and popular. Fasting helps us clean ourselves, reset ourselves, take us to our neutral state of being, mentally and physically. Because when we fast, we would take out all the toxicity and the chemical imbalances we have, that they're there because of our habits and other ways of being that result in all type of imbalances in us. So by fasting, we can take this body to this neutral state and reconnect to its essence. And if we do that through time and we repeat fasting, we can really create the conditions for us not to decay, but to grow energetically and in other levels. The deal here is that our physical body and our emotional body, our minds, are all interrelated. And if we accumulate all these imbalances and all these toxicities, not just in our body, but in our mind, that is the cause of it, through time we will develop sickness, and it will be too late. But fasting will help us open the space for us to reconnect to that neutral state, get rid of what we don't need and what is causing potentially sickness, and also take our mind and our emotions to that neutral state to see what's not working, and it's creating all these behaviors in our lives that cause sickness and cause suffering and pain. It's not just like you're gonna fast and then you're gonna be healed. You have to do that through time, repeat it, and observe what is going on. This is crucial. So fasting helps us differentiate the sources of our energy, cleanse our system and reset our system. Third, fasting helps us connect to our survival mechanisms, that they are just hidden in the normality of our lives because we're living comfortably and we don't need to use that part of ourselves. But when we fast and we face that uncomfortable dimension of ourselves, we can use that to really catapult ourselves and see all these maximum potential mechanisms we have. that are there for us to survive in the weirdest scenarios that we can encounter. And all these survival mechanisms, we can grow them as a muscle as we repeat, for example, fasting and strong exercises. When we fast, for example, and climb a mountain, or when we fast and do some other type of exercises, as tantra, as yoga or martial arts, we will face that uncomfortable dimension of ourselves. And through the exercise, the intense body exercise, while we fast, we will work our survival mechanisms. We don't only work the physical part, we also work our internal part, our emotions, our mind, consciousness. And that gives us the last part, that is the internal work, because by fasting we don't only work our physical part, our mind, our emotions are triggered, and we see what's hidden from us unconsciously. By fasting, all that dimension, unconscious dimension, goes out, and we can transform it or transmute it however we want, and observe it and understand what's going on with us. Because if we are not paying attention and we are just in the normality of our lives and feeling comfortable, well, we usually won't be able to see all these dimensions we have. All our shadows are hidden, until life and God put something in front of us that will definitely trigger and put out all that hidden dimensions, and well, we do the internal work then. But through fasting, we can progressively and consciously work all this step by step. It's a space that we can create consciously to work internally in whatever we need to work. Notice that if you fast, the first uncomfortable sensation that you will see of yourself is probably something that you have to work, that demands more of your attention in that moment. So it's very, very beautiful exercise of awareness to try to anchor awareness to the present moment, and not let yourself be driven away by all the things that are happening in our body when we're fasting. So yes, fasting will definitely help us in our spiritual work that we have to do with us to heal, to transmute all that dimensions that we need to heal, that probably are our biggest treasure, ready for us to conquer ourselves and transmute all that into something beautiful. All these uncomfortable sensations that we face when we are fasting, inside and outside, because outside, it is very irritating outside when you're fasting. Everything irritates you. But that's teaching us something, because the outside, it's always the mirror of our inside. And if it's something is bothering us outside, or making us suffer, or making us feel rage, well, even if it's a person or a situation, it's just a mirror of something that we have inside of us. And we are just pointing out in that situation or in that person the responsibility of what's going on. But the truth is, we are feeling what we are feeling because we have it inside. So when we understand this phenomenon of human existence, and we use fasting to really heal and transmute our internal dimensions, with the help of attention and observation, we can definitely catapult ourselves to another level, because it triggers all our spiritual work, physically and internally. So try it out. Share your experiences down here with everyone so we can all learn and understand better. And that's pretty much it. Thank you for being here. Subscribe for more tantric content, and share this type of well-being content to someone that needs it, or someone that you believe will love it. Because when we share well-being, we create a web of energy. It's a type of web of energy that the humanity needs right now. So that's it. Thank you for being here, and I hope you enjoyed this video.